Hello, this is V.M.Karthik. I'm going to explain you what is GitHub, why should we use it and how to use it. What is GitHub, why should we use it and how should we use it, and explain me in a way that Git can understand. So GitHub is basically a website similar to Instagram, and instead of posting images here people post projects. They are known as repositories, and instead of liking here people can contribute to projects, and you can contribute to other projects and others can contribute to your projects as well. That is basically what GitHub is. You should also need to know what Git is. Git is something you install locally in your device. If you want to understand it technically, Git tracks whatever changes you make in your code base. And if by any chance if you ever screw up your project, then it will let you slide back to the version of your project which is working perfectly fine. If you don't want to understand about Git technically, then it's fine. You don't have to. We connect a local project to the GitHub website by using Git commands, and those commands will only run if Git is locally installed in our device. Now, if you ask why should you use it, then if multiple people are working on a same project, then it's really wise decision to use GitHub as it makes collaboration very easy. You can also use WhatsApp to share the code and files and all that, but it's really inefficient to even imagine. So most people use GitHub because it makes collaboration very easy. That's why I use it, and I think you should also use it. Now let's get to how to install it. The installation process in Windows and Mac is both different. I will show you in both the systems. First I'll show you in the Mac, just follow me. In order to install Git, first you need to install Homebrew in Mac, and it is very simple. You just have to paste this command and then enter your password. I will keep this command in the description, and then you have to press enter, and afterwards the Homebrew will be installed automatically. The Homebrew has been installed. Now type brew install git to install Git, and then Git will be installed. Now that the Git has been installed, now you have to configure a username and email. So this username can be anything. It is for the local Git to identify you. It need not be the username of a GitHub account, but the email has to be the email which you have used to create the GitHub account. That is because if you upload a project, it should be uploaded to your GitHub account and not someone else's account. So that's why the email should be the email which you have used to create the GitHub account. And you can find these comments in the description box. After you press enter, if the terminal doesn't return anything, that means your command has been executed successfully, and the email and user has been set, and we can move on. Now I'll show you how to upload your local project in your GitHub account. In order to do that, first you have to create a repository, name the repository, add a description if needed, and select public to avoid complications. Then don't add a readme file, and then create the repository. Now the repository has been created. Just copy this code you can see on the screen, and open the terminal in the root directory of your project, and this is the root directory of my project. So just paste here and hit enter. When you're doing this for the first time, it will ask you to enter the username. Here you have to enter the username of your GitHub, and after entering the username it will ask you for the password. But here you should not enter your GitHub password. Instead of that, you have to enter personal access token. You have to generate it in your GitHub. I will just guide you how to generate the personal access token. You have to go to settings, and inside settings you have to go to developer settings, and inside developer settings you will find personal access tokens, and inside personal access token you should select tokens classic, and there you should generate a new token and select all the categories. Now you have to click generate token, and then a token will be generated. Now you have to copy the token and paste it where it is asking for the password. Now after you paste it, it will not show anything, it will show it completely blank, but still you have to hit enter, then the process will be completed. Now our project is successfully connected to our Git repository, but our files are still not reflected in our repository because we still didn't push the code. So for pushing, the commands are three main commands. We'll always use these three main commands to push whatever changes we make in our code base. That is git add, git space add space dot, and git space commit space -m, and afterwards we'll open a string and we will enter whatever changes we have made, and then we will enter git space push. This will push whatever changes we make in our code base to our git repository. Now we can see our local project in our Git repo, and this is how we upload our project in GitHub. Now I'll guide you how to install Git in Windows. In Windows, you have to download an installable file and then install it. Just follow all the recommended settings itself, except one setting which I'll show you. Here I recommend using VS Code code editor as Git's default editor, but you can use whatever editor you want. It's totally up to you. Here, instead of letting Git decide, override the default branch name for new repositories and set it to main, and then again continue selecting all the recommended options itself. Now the Git has been successfully installed in the Windows. Now what you have to do is you have to open admin terminal by right clicking on the Windows, and then you have to configure username and email. You can find the commands in the description. So here the username could be anything you want. It is for your local Git to identify you, but the email should match with whatever email you have created the GitHub account. That is because whenever you upload your project, it should be uploaded in your account, it's not someone else's account. After this is done, if you want to upload a local project to your GitHub account, you have to create a repository in the GitHub and give it a title, and do not create a readme file, and then create the repository. Afterwards, you will come to this page. Now, copy the code I'm copying and paste it in the terminal after going to the root directory of your project. This is the root directory of the project I have created, and I'm pasting the code here. So after pasting, it will, for the first time, it will ask you to enter the username, and in Windows actually it will ask you to sign in. So you can sign in with your browser, or you can create a token just like I created in the Mac and paste the token here. But signing in is much easier than finding the token and pasting it here. So just click on sign in and enter the credentials and then just sign in. So after this, your local Git is successfully connected to your GitHub account. Now your repo is connected to the local Git, but still your files aren't reflected in the repo. That is because you still haven't pushed the code. So the commands to push the code, there are actually three commands which we regularly use to push the code. They are git space add space dot, and afterwards git space commit space minus m. Afterwards in the string, you'll enter whatever changes you have made in the code. And afterwards, you will enter git space push. Now this will push your project to the project or whatever changes you have made in the project to your repo, as you can see. I'll summarize how to upload your project into the GitHub. First, you have to go to the root directory of your project and open terminal, and then you have to create a repo without a readme file, and then it will give you a code. Then copy that code and paste it in the terminal. Then you have to push the project using three commands, that is git space add space dot, git space commit space minus m, and in the string you will enter whatever changes you have made in the code, and then git space push. That's all. Now I'll tell you about cloning and collaborating. So if your repo is public, any user can clone it, and any user can find your repo when they search for it, but they cannot contribute to it. If you want certain users to contribute to your project, then what you have to do is you'll go to settings of your repo, and then there you can find collaborators. So here in collaborators, you can find an option to add people. So here you add the users by the username or email. When you click add to repository, what happens is an invitation will be sent to those specific users, and if those users accept your invitation, then they can contribute to your project. But still, anyone can view your project if your project is public. And if you want to clone someone else's project, or someone wants to clone your project, what you have to do is you have to copy this URL and you have to open the terminal and go to the folder where you want to actually clone this project. I am creating a new folder, projects, and inside this I want to clone. So now what I'll do is, the command is git space clone space, you should paste that link. That's it. The project is now cloned and you can find it in that folder, and the project name is random, right? So it will be, the project will be inside projects, inside random folder. Again, I have to go to random folder if you want to be in the root directory, and now you're in the root directory, and now you can open the VS Code by using this command and you can work on the project. So that's how you clone, and I have explained about collaborating. So that's about it.